you're buying any cards from TCG Player, please use the link in the description to help support my content. This video is sponsored by Botan Store, TCG Player, PokemonCard.io, and Card Market.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tailmon. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be playing with more Single Strike. No changes to the last list that I used. I feel like this list is extremely solid. One fighting maybe could become a third switch, but I always welcome that extra energy attachment that you have available. And in case you haven't seen how the Single Strike deck works, you have Urshifu VMAX with a Gmax 1 blow attack, which does 270. You discard all energy from this Pokemon, and its attacks damage aren't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so you don't care about Relton VMAX's ability, you don't care about Samazenta V's ability, the Seedwide's ability, or anything else. You just do straight up damage, and the Single Strike energies help you hit the magic numbers against other VMAXs so that you can one KO them. Not exactly easy to set up, but definitely a viable option. And being fighting type means our Single Strike Urshifu V with the impact low attack can easily one-hit KO other Pokemon Vs thanks to a Single Strike energy, but more importantly, 1 KO Jolteon VMAX, which is one of the most popular decks at the moment in the metagame. We also have Umbreon VMAX and Umbreon V, the Dark Signal abilities, a Boss's Orders, which is always good to have, and Max Darkness is nothing impressive, but when you're hitting the best deck for weakness and taking one-shots on their 3-pricer, then you know you're in for a good time. That means Umbreon V with the Moonlight Blade attack can also pull that off, doing 80 damage plus 80 more if this Pokemon has any damage counters, but thanks to Houndoom's ability, we're pretty much always guaranteed to have some damage on our Pokemon, as Single Strike Roar searches for a Single Strike energy, and you place 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you attach it to. 2 Crobat rounds out the Pokemon so that you can have that extra little bit of consistency. And speaking of consistency, we have 4 Battle VIP Pass, 4 Quick Pulls, and 4 Catchers, just because it's so important to get a full bench and get our setup and board going. So we're maximizing on those. We also have 4 Incense to search for the very important Houndooms, which make the deck flow. And then we have 4 Marnie and 4 Research, so 4 of the most important cards, always good. Tower of Darkness as a counter to Battle Peak, and a little bit of bonus for consistency. Urn of Vitality recovers those very precious Single Strike energies as well. And then we have Boss's Orders because we won't always have access to Umbreon VMAX's ability. A single Tool Scrapper for those pesky Cape of Toughness in case we're up against Suicune. And to get rid of Tool Scrappers or Air Balloons or whatever. I guess Tool Scrapper doesn't matter, but Air Balloons from our opponent to potentially stall them out, as you never know when it could help you buy some turns. That can be unreliable, especially first turn, but you get a solid first turn, you're pretty much set for the rest of the game. Let's jump to the ladder and play some games. Alright, we win the coin flip, always good to win that. Winning a coin flip against Mew is actually a little scary, based on the fact that they can 1 KO AV early on. And we're up against TCGO Share 16. I'm not exactly sure who that is. It might be Team Fish Knuckles or Omnipoke. I'm honestly not sure, but we see that Moltres, so we know it's Sableye, Hoopa, etc. So we are in for a good time right here, and we have like one of the best setups we could have possibly hoped for, with the 4 Houndours on turn 1, the Capture Energy, and an attacker to go with that. So we're in a pretty good spot. We have an Incense to search for our Houndoom. They are a single price deck for the most part, so we're going to be trading somewhat effectively against them. However, already I see Minchino, right, and Snorlax, so actually I don't know what I'm up against. I am now completely clueless as to what I'm up against. I just know that this Marnie is going to be really good against an opponent that just used Snorlax's ability. And my goal will, of course, be to knock out the Snorlax, as my opponent is not threatening me at all. Do I use my ability once again? I think the answer is yes. And off of the Marnie, we have options, but we'll see what we end up getting here. Another Houndoom, fantastic, and an energy attachment for turn, so this Snorlax is absolutely going down. And I get to Snorlax, I mean not Snorlax, I get to Croat for 6 additional cards. So I'm gonna power up the Umbreon. I did prize a single strike energy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quick pull away that for the Croat, conserve the energy just in case, even though I don't have anything to attach it to. That's alright. You never know when you'll need the bonus damage, and then we'll go ahead and retreat. I mean, I could evolve just for safety purposes, but I don't know what I'm up against. So I'm not gonna choose to do so in case my opponent has some like crazy grass type attacker come back, and also then I can use my ability next turn to target down something that's actually relevant, right? So choosing not to play cards can sometimes be just as important as choosing to play them. Alright, we see a level ball. I'm guessing, yep, for Cinchino. Only one prize ahead, so they're definitely not out of the game yet. It's not like I KO'd their Pokemon with energy or whatever. They are playing Altaria, but we do have Houndoom, so Altaria should never be a problem against me. They do decide to bench that other Swablu though after discarding the first one. And they just go for the energy assist, which I don't mind. Now we get to KO the Cinchino. I'm not really scared of the Altaria, but I also wouldn't want to play it. I honestly think I'm just gonna take a KO here. Just gonna Moonlight Blade KO. My opponent didn't play a supporter, and now they're out of Cinchino. So they can't draw an extra card, so we're assuming they rely on their top deck. If they do evolve into Altaria, then, like I mentioned, I do have Houndoom, which is perfectly fine. Even if I don't end up one-shotting the Altaria, like, it's generally not a problem. Oh, nice. Oh, I like this idea, actually. Maybe they're playing, like, all 3 birds. Well, actually, no, never mind. Because Articuno doesn't... yeah, Articuno doesn't... doesn't one-shot any attackers, so never mind. Like, the Psychic Weak Pokemon are not one-shot by Articuno, so never mind. It's not that great. Okay, now that I'm 3 prizes down, my opponent needs to do something this turn, otherwise it's over. And it seems like a cool idea on paper, but I have no idea what this is. I mean, sure. We'll knock out my Umbreon. So I'm sad that I didn't evolve. Maybe I should have attached 1 energy last turn, because now I have 2 Marnie and that gives him an extra hand, but it's okay. It's generally okay. So I'm going to attach this energy. This guy is weak to darkness, so let's do this and get the Urshifu at the top, and then we'll Marnie so that we don't draw Urshifu. I need to do the Marnie to put the energies back into the deck, unfortunately, because I didn't have an urn. Now I do have an urn, but that's okay. I feel like I'm so far ahead here that it shouldn't really matter. It overall shouldn't really matter. I'll start prying off the Umbreon just in case. I will definitely play the urn to put back the other 2 energies. I could get the Umbreon already powered up, but there's no rush. And then Darkness Fang can do the trick here, thanks to weakness. So a little bit scarier than it was before. I just gave my opponent a brand new hand, but I'm also not scared at all. Like, I'm confident I'm so far ahead that there's no way my opponent can catch up at this stage. Unless they pull off something incredibly weird, which would be knockout Umbreon, knockout Crobat this turn, which I doubt will happen. I like the concept behind the deck. I feel like Articuno is definitely not the psychic type attacker that you would like. You would like it to be able to one-shot Urshifus. But that's okay. If I had evolved my Umbreon into Umbreon VMAX, I wouldn't have had to Marnie, my opponent would still be dead drawing, so... I didn't know what to expect though. Well, I guess I did know, right? I did see the article note, so maybe I should have played around that. Maybe I should have played around that, actually. So there's the Moltres. Now they get an attack off, but they're only taking one prize card. So as long as I can knock out this Moltres and then knock out whatever's after that, I should be good. And I can just establish either another Umbreon or an Urshifu in order to accomplish that. So just get an Urshifu just in case. Let's go ahead and single strike roar to the active. Single strike roar to the Urshifu. I'm even holding a switch, so if my opponent goes boss to try and stall me, I have the switch. If my opponent plays Marnie, then we are completely fine. And Moonlight Blade. Can my opponent pull off a miracle? I'm glad we used the Marnie, in a sense, just to like showcase more of my opponent's deck. And it is a bird trio combination. Or maybe it's just these two actually. I like the idea though, the concept seems good. The concept seems good, in fact. We're gonna see a quick ball. Probably too little too late though. Doesn't even grab anything, which is surprising. There must be basic Pokemon left in their deck, right? Maybe they just have the Moltres in their hand. I mean, if they knock me out with Moltres, then props to them, right? Like, they'll be at one prize card, so not as close as I mean, way closer than I would have liked, right? And that seems like what's gonna happen. Oh, never mind. So this I don't understand. Doing all of this when I'm at one prize card. Well played. Alright. So we take out essentially a free win against this deck, but if they had a slightly stronger start, this could have gotten complicated quickly. Or if I had evolved into a VMAX, then it would have been game over a while ago, I think. But yeah, on to the next game. Alright, I had clicked the record button, but apparently it didn't register. Alright, so we're up against Suicune. Should be an interesting matchup right here, as they can easily 1-KO me. Just like I can easily 1-KO them, but if they're playing the Cape of Toughness, which why wouldn't they, right? The good thing here is that my opponent didn't attach an energy, so that could complicate things a little for them. Definitely need a double Houndour right here in order to threaten with Umbreon next turn. And I mean, as long as I survive the hit, that should be good. If my opponent had attached energy to the active, I think I would have played boss to go after the bench Suicune. Now my opponent needs essentially Bucket plus Quick Ball plus Melanie. He can search for two of those three with the Drizzles. I'm surprised he's not using Fleet-Footed first in order to see if he could get any of them. So there's the bucket, there's the attachment. Doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. They haven't used Fleet-Foot, right? No, they haven't. So I think you would have led with that, because then if you don't have that, then you might as well just attach to the bench dude, right? Because the active's probably gonna die next turn. Like, you have to prepare for the worst. I don't know. That's just me, maybe. You gotta prepare for the worst. If the worst happens, then great, because you were prepared for it. And if the worst doesn't happen, then even better, because the worst didn't happen, right? 9 out of 10 times, if the worst doesn't happen, you'll be better off than if the worst had happened. There are instances where if the worst doesn't happen and they do something awkward or different, then you could get punished for that, but it's not very common. So you gotta prepare for the worst. Okay, there's a path to the peak. So are they hammers? Plus path plus incense? I mean, not incense, fan of waves. Obviously they have incense in their deck list. Alright, so we see a research. Yeah, so they were missing all of the pieces, right? So their chance of pulling it off were very low. Still think you fleet-footed to try though, because if you draw any energy, any bucket, any Melanie, or any quick wall, then you can just search for the other two. But to each their own. Okay, that can save the Suicune. Now I need 3 single strike energies in order to knock out the Suicune with my Umbreon, so that's sad. That is actually very sad. Okay, that is a very useful card to get. So I have the Houndoom, and I'm not going to use the ability because I actually want to draw a single strike energy. Which I do, and I get the other Houndoom, so basically a perfect hand. As long as I didn't price 2 single strike energies, which clearly I didn't price any of them. So I am benching the other Urshifu to make sure that I have a response to the next one, but there is even a chance that my opponent doesn't have a response themselves. They will be doing enough, so I'd rather have access to Umbreon as well. And so we barely get the KO thanks to the previous mean look damage, which is always a nice thing. We had 2 price cards, both of them useless in this situation, where we do need to attack. And we just see the straight up Melanie. So the one thing that would stop us from getting a return KO would be a Cape of Toughness. Otherwise we have return KO with what we have in our hand thanks to the Urshifu. So I don't need a supporter, but it would be nice to get one. It would absolutely be nice to get one. I don't think my opponent used Fleetfoot last turn, before they played the path to a peak. Yeah, they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't. They never used their ability even though they could. Okay, so let's promote Urshi as we have the knockout, and I just top deck that. Wow, that is pretty nice. Alright, so let's put back the energies. That will get us an attack. We'll do this. I'm not gonna play the incense because I actually don't want to thin it. Well, maybe I could use it and grab a Houndoom. Nah, probably not. Like, all my evolutions seem good at this stage. I don't want, like, I wouldn't mind drawing any of my evolutions. I don't want them all at the same time, right? Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be bad. Meh. This is pretty meh. The double Umbreon is really sucky though because of the path to a peak. Because now, if my opponent benches another V, well, I guess if they bench another V, they're gonna use it to attack me, right? If they don't attack this turn, then the game's basically over. Basically. We'll see. There's Shady Dealing, so with that, I would assume I am getting attacked, right? I am getting attacked. Alright, Incense, Drizzle, Quick Ball. Yeah, there's a Suicune. They need Cape though. Without Cape, they're not gonna accomplish anything. And I feel like you already have a Melanie, so draw the cards first. Because then Or did they have the Melanie? Maybe they didn't. I don't know, but like, oh, okay. Wait, so what did you search for? Huh? I didn't pay attention to what they drew off of Shady Dealings, but... Alright, they just get every drizzle out. Actually, they don't have drizzle anymore, because once in the discard pile. Crushing Hammer, crushing my dreams right here. Tails, that seems fair. Okay, it's too bad I can't use Umbreon. But as long as I can KO this until then, I should be good, right? Oh wow, I just top decked the boss. I mean, it doesn't help me, but surprising that I top decked it. Okay, so if I'm trying to retreat into the Umbreon to take a KO, I think that's pretty good. So I'll do this, and then I'll evolve. And then I will thin because I need one of my 3 urns left in the deck. And I'm hoping I can find a stadium as well to get rid of that and potentially draw extra cards. Wow. Okay, let's definitely retreat first before I use the urn. That would be silly, Pablo, don't do that. Okay, so I'll do this, grab Umbreon, and then discard it with a stadium. Not before I play the incense, however, to get that guy. And I don't have boss's orders, actually. Oh, I should have played the urn. No, wait. I shouldn't have. I guess it was the same thing. No, actually, I shouldn't have. Not playing it was correct. Okay, so we'll single strike roar to this guy. And we'll actually take a KO here. So I'm down. I prized 1 Houndoom. But this is fine because my opponent would need to go attach boss KO and then boss KO. Which is possible, I guess. My last prize is Houndoom too, so that's bad. Melanie, so no boss, so they're gonna attack into Umbreon, and then I have time to potentially recover out of this. That felt rushed and unplanned. This is scary now. No, they played the path to the peak. Okay, that's bad. 180, yeah. Oh, they can't KO me actually with these guys. Okay, so then I'm just gonna attack, right? And then I have Houndoom to finish off the Suicune. I never had KO here. Maybe I should have attacked, no. Oh no, wait, drawing this is the worst thing ever. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna lose now. I think I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. I don't have any energy left in the deck. I think I lose. Oh my gosh, that Marnie just saved my butt. That Marnie just literally... Well, not yet. Not yet. Jeez. Louise. I need Urn. So I know the bottom cards of my deck are not Urn, right? Now I have one ability. So I'm not going to shuffle my deck, because then all the bottom cards that were in my deck that are not Urns, I have a much higher chance of drawing them than if I shuffle with Crobat. I mean with Quick Ball. If I had access to Crobat, I would have. But yeah, there's the Urn, so now that's game because now Houndoom gets the knockout. Wow, that was way closer than I expected it to be. Way closer, and I also not using the ability, right? So both of those things that could have shuffled my deck and technically thinned were actually worse because there was a good amount of, it was 6 cards at the bottom that were not earned, so that meant the top 11 cards of my deck were available. The Tool Scrapper also, since I could have done 220 damage to the Suicune, so that would have opened up the Tool Scrapper as an out to win instead of having to rely on the earn, right? It would have been another out, so maybe that was a mistake. Maybe that was actually a mistake. But also having energy for turn. Well, no, because I had the 2 energy attack, so not doing 220 was a mistake. Small one, but was a mistake. But yeah, pretty cool deck. When it flows, it's unstoppable. When it bricks, it's just like all the other decks because all of them brick. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.